Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm in the town of Ephrata in Lancaster County, and across the street is the home of Jonathan Gerlach, a man who was caught red-handed stealing skeleton remains out of Mount Moriah Cemetery.
The disturbing discovery here, police said he had more than 100 human skulls, 2 decomposing human torsos, and other human remains stored inside of his basement. They were in various stages of decay, from skeletons more than 200 years ago to months-old infants. The Delaware County DA said some remains were hanging, some pierced together, others displayed merely as skulls on shelves. Court documents list 574 charges, including burglary, abuse of a corpse, and criminal trespassing. Gerlach was arrested on January 6 while exiting the cemetery, and get this, police said he was carrying a burlap bag with remains inside, including mummified remains of 2 small children, 3 skulls, and assorted bones. Gerlach is being held in the Delaware County Prison on $1 million bond. His first court date is scheduled for January 20th.
All right guys, so I'm in Mount Moriah Cemetery now. This is on the Yaden section of the cemetery. It's one side is like Philadelphia, on the one part of Philadelphia, and this side is on the town of Yaden. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a massive cemetery. It's like a couple hundred acres with 150,000 graves, and this is where the skeleton remains were taken from, and where Jonathan Gerlach was caught red-handed. Now I'm not sure exactly what graves he had gotten into. I know he had gotten into a handful of mausoleums and some of the vaults. Ones that have headstones like that, he didn't bother actually digging up. It was just mostly breaking into mausoleums like these and vaults, which I'll show you when I come across one. A lot of these, you can tell, have been cemented over, and this one here had like cinder blocks stuck in front. I don't believe any of these ones were actually ones he had broken into, but these were probably like that from years ago when this was like basically abandoned. As you can see, this one still has some graffiti on it from years ago that looks like the volunteers tried to remove as best as possible. This is another one that's been put up with cinder blocks. Okay, so right over here is what they would call a vault. There's a handful of family members all in one location right underneath this stone. And what Jonathan Gerlach was doing, he was taking his crowbars and prying underneath these vaults and sliding it over a little bit, because they weigh close to 800 pounds, so they were just sliding it over just enough where he can manage to squeeze in there and take the skeleton remains. I believe this was one of the first mausoleums he had broken into that they noticed, the Baker Mausoleum. As you can see, this is all fresh. There was a door on there that he ended up actually getting in from the top and then breaking the door down from the inside of the mausoleum to get out. And this is how he got down in. Well, as long as I don't drop my camera. So down where the door had been broken into, obviously that was quite noticeable, and that's when somebody had made the call. When the police got up here, they noticed carabiners up here where he rappelled down from that hole all the way down and then busted his way out from the bottom, which is just crazy, and determination, I guess, to get down there and get those remains. This one wasn't tampered with. Don't think he was getting through that one. And probably no way to rappel down from the top. So you may be asking yourself, what would somebody want with over 100 pieces of skeleton remains from an abandoned graveyard? Like, why would somebody want those? Well, his purpose was, I guess he was selling them, and I guess collecting some too, but mostly selling them. And then if your next question might be, well, what does a skeleton bone even go for? Well, a skull would go for $2,000. A full skeleton goes for $10,000. A femur bone goes somewhere in the ballpark of around $200. So clearly there's a good bit of money to be made in the skeleton remains business, and it is legal to sell bones, skeletons, to other people. It is legal in almost every state, not just Pennsylvania. In almost every state it is actually legal to sell and purchase skeletal remains, as long as it's done obviously in a good manner. Sometimes hospitals and museums have them for sale. That's where you can purchase them legally, obviously. And there's even another site, if I remember what it, I'll figure it out what it is, and I'll put it at the bottom of the screen here. And I'm drawing a blank right now, but where you can purchase some of these skeleton bones, if that's what your thing is, instead of actually coming here and vandalizing and taking someone's family members away. But in 2004, the owner of Mount Moriah Cemetery passed away, and then it kind of was like abandoned, and then it still had like board members and stuff, but then it closed, like officially it closed in 2011 when the last board member also passed away. And then after that, the cemetery really just became fell into disrepair, became a site for like illegal dumping of garbage, tires, you name it, and overgrown vegetation, which you can still see like signs of that, especially in this section that I'm at here. Here's another one of those vaults. Jane Maxwell. I don't see any date on it, but clearly was propped up. But clearly it was propped up, and someone definitely got in there looking for something. And like I said, this is in an overgrown section in the woods that probably thought nobody would notice. Here's another open one. So in there you can see a casket standing up against the wall, and probably was opened, and the remains were probably taken out.
Yeah.
Right up this makeshift ramp.
Right.
So this is a vault here that I came across that definitely looks pretty freshly broken into. As you can see, it was propped up Looks like right about there is where he was using his crowbars to get underneath it, and then propped it up on those stones, and then got down in here and possibly removed some skeleton remains from this vault. So check the pinned comments below. I'm gonna leave a link to Mobile Instinct's video. He was also here before I was, and did a video of this place, and he came across a lot more vaults and mausoleums that had been broken into, and you could see firsthand from his video of just the pure vandalism that was done, and it's pretty crazy to see. So definitely check out his video in the pinned comments below, and I'm gonna still walk around here and see what else I could find. This may have been another one. You can tell it was moved, but I don't, maybe he not it was too heavy and he didn't have enough strength to get inside this one, because that top one is pretty thick. So he may not have gotten into that, but at least probably had tried. If I was here in the summertime, I'd probably be covered in ticks with all this vegetation that's grown. And I probably, well, it's even hard to see on camera now, but I probably wouldn't even see half of these headstones buried in the woods here. So in a way, this place was kind of like the perfect setting for him to come here and steal the remains, with thinking that he wasn't going to get caught. If there's anything I could say nice about this guy, is the fact that he actually is cooperating with police, and he did show them where he took from out of this cemetery. There's 30 different spots that he had taken from here. Now at his home, like I said, there was over 100 skeletal remains, so this couldn't have been obviously the only place that he was getting them from. And if you know anything about Pennsylvania, at least that I know of, is full of abandoned cemeteries. There's probably more abandoned cemeteries than you would think. I can think of 5 or 6 of them, all within an hour's drive of each other. Like, you could literally hit all 5 of them within an hour's drive. Some of them we have even been to. Me and Chris have gone to the one in Plains Township, which police also believe he was part of, because 2 bodies were taken from that abandoned mausoleum up there in Plains Township. And his cell phone records show that he was using his cell phone on like November 6th or 7th when those bodies got taken. So most likely he was the guy that was responsible for the one that taking those ones up there in Plains Township. So, like I said, there's plenty of other abandoned cemeteries that he could have gotten some the other skeletal remains elsewhere. And even in New Jersey there's some too. So I mean, hopefully he's helping them, because this would probably be a massive headache for the police and everyone else involved to try to piece together where these bones rightfully belong to. So hopefully he continues to work with them on that, but he's still a dickhead for doing this kind of thing. So with that, guys, I think I'm gonna get back out on the road, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See yous.